In this video, I'm going to show you how to create next level custom navigation submenus within your Power BI reports. Let's jump in. We're going to start first by opening up PowerPoint. Then we're going to go to Insert, Shape, and we're going to choose Speech Bubble. We're going to draw a speech bubble. I'm going to make the height 2.7 inches. And I'm going to make the width 2.25 inches. Next, we'll adjust the selection triangle and move it to the top. So since our Power BI report header is in dark mode, we're going to mirror that and change the background color of this shape to black. And I'm going to go with a hex code of 333333. Now let's select the shape, go to Shape Effects, Shadow. We'll apply a subtle shadow effect just to create a little extra depth. Now let's go to Insert, Shape, and Circle. Let's draw a circle. We're going to make the height and the width 0.45 inches. Let's go to Shape Outline and remove the outline. Now let's apply a soft edge effect. So I'm going to right click, go to Format Shape. Under Shape Options, Soft Edges, let's make the size 4. Now the submenu we're going to be working on is going to be for the period page. And we can see we have 5 page views within the period page, which are also shown here on the left-hand side. So we know that we're going to need 5 rows. So let's take this first shape and position it right at the top left corner. So I'd say right about there. Now let's duplicate this shape one time by pressing Ctrl C and Ctrl V. We're going to drag the bottom shape down. So what I want to do is just try to mirror the margin that the top shape has. I don't need to left align it just yet. Just want to match that margin. And you can see here that PowerPoint will let you know when you have that same margin. So I'm going to let go there. I'm going to hold Control, select the top shape. So now we have both shapes selected. I'm going to go to Shape Format, Align Left. I'm going to click on the first one and duplicate it 3 more times. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. Let's drag these shapes over here. Now I'm going to select all 5 shapes. I'm going to click Align Left and then Align Distribute Vertically. Click out. Next thing we're going to do is change the colors of these shapes to mirror the colors that the insights represent. So within our report, we can see we have these different colors that represent the different types of insights. So I can easily just go to my theme and grab those hex codes, or I can grab my handy color picker here and just steal that hex code. I'm going to take the unit sold color, go back to PowerPoint. I'm going to select that first shape, just change that color to my unit sold hex code color. Then I'm going to do the same for the rest of my shapes. So now all my shapes are good. We have the right colors that we want. Next, we need to bring in the icons that are going to represent these page views. So we can see here, these icons to the left are going to be the same icons that we put in the submenu. It's the same views in the submenu are going to take the user to these same views within the period page. So I've brought my icons in. Next thing I'm going to do is take the top icon here, which represents units sold, and place it right in the middle of the circle. Then I'm going to take the bottom icon and drag it right about here. And then I'm going to select the unit sold icon. Make sure you select the actual icon and not the background. Then I'll go to Graphics Format, Align Left, click out, click that data table icon again, and just press the up arrow to center it in that circle. And once I've done that, I'm going to reselect those 2 icons again. And remember, don't select the backgrounds. I'm going to hold Control, select the other 3. I'm going to go to Graphics Format, Align Left, and then Align Distribute Vertically. And then while I have all of those selected still, I'm going to change the color to white. Then click out. Next thing we're going to do is go to Insert, Shapes, Line. I'm going to draw a line, Drag it right about here for now. Then I'm going to change the width to 1.5 inches. And to format shape, I'm going to change the color to white. And then I'm going to lower the transparency to 75%. Also going to change the width to 0.25. I'm going to take that line, position it right about there. So it's in the middle of these two icons with roughly the same amount of margin from the edge to the right and the shapes to the left. And once I have that, I'm going to copy and paste it, drag the secondary one down and then to the right. I'm going to select both of the lines and go to align left. Then I'm going to position that bottom one right in the middle. Now I'm going to select that bottom one and copy and paste it 2 times. Drag these two above to the right, and we'll select all 4 lines. We're going to go align left, align, distribute, vertically, click out. So I think that looks really good. So I'm going to press Control A to select all of the layers on my slide. And then I'm going to right click, group, group. So now we have one grouped image that we can right click and save as a picture. I'm going to name my image AW for AdventureWorks, nav submenu, and we're going to save it as a PNG file. Next, I'm going to go to my Power BI report and open up the period page. Then I'm going to go to Insert, Image. I'm going to locate my image. Then I'll bring it into the report. Now I'm going to manually drag it right below period. I can zoom in a little bit and then use my up arrow. Zoom back to 100%. Next, I'm going to go to Insert, Button, and create a blank button. Drag the button right over here for now. I'm going to go to Format Button. And then under Button, Style, I'm going to turn Border off and Icon off. I'm going to scroll up. Make sure my state is on default. Open up text. We're going to name this Units Sold, period. For the font, I'm going to go with Sego UI with a tint and a font color of white. Now I'm going to take that button and manually adjust the width. And we don't want to go over the bubble. I'm going to go right about there where I'm touching the corner. And then I'll do the same for the right-hand side. Now I'm going to scroll down, and for the horizontal alignment, I'm going to left align. And then I'm going to change the left side padding, and we're going to try 55. So I think that looks pretty good, so we'll leave that there. Now let's select our button and apply some hover effects. I'm going to go to Style, change the state to On Hover. And then for the font, we're going to go with Sego UI Semi-Bold. We're going to scroll down, turn on Fill, and I'm going to change the color to the same orange color that represents units sold. We're going to go with this color right here. We're going to up the transparency to 75%. Now I'm going to scroll up, change the state to default, scroll back down, and increase the transparency to 100%. So now you can see this is what our hover effect looks like. I'm going to click on that button. Now I'm going to zoom in a little more and just position the button and make sure that the text is directly in the middle of our icon to the left-hand side. Actually going to adjust the width a little more to make sure it's the width of the line directly below it. On the left, I can see I can adjust this just a little more as well. If you want my exact size, we have a width of 187 with a height of 40. I'm going to zoom back out to 100% and click out. Next, we're going to select this top button and copy it. We're going to drag that button right here to the bottom. We're going to select the top button, go to Format, Align Left, click out. We're going to click back in and then manually adjust the button to center it with the icon to the left. Now, while I still have that selected, I'm just going to copy it again 3 more times. We're going to drag these other buttons right here to the right. Now I'm going to select all 4 buttons. I'm going to go to Format, Align Left, Align, Distribute vertically. Looks like I forgot to select a button, so we're going to try that again. Go to align left, distribute vertically, click out. Next step would be to select the second button, go to style, make sure you're on the default state. Under the text, we're going to change that to gross sales. Next button below that, we're going to change to net profit. Next button below that, we're going to change to cost of goods. Just put COGS. And then the last one, I'm going to name data table. Next, we need to go into these lower 4 buttons and change the background color to match the color of the metric. So I'm going to click on gross sales, style, on hover, open up fill. We'll change that color to our default blue. Click on net profit, change the color to our default green. Cost of goods, change it to our default red. And for table, change it to E6, E6, E6. Next, I'm going to select this bottom data table button and copy and paste it. I'm going to drag it near the top. I'm going to go to General, Properties. I'm going to make the height 25 by 25. Then I'm going to click on the button settings, open up Style. I'm going to change the text to a lowercase x. I'm going to change the font to Wingdings, and I'm going to change the font size to 18. I'm going to make it bold. I'm going to change the color to black. I'm going to scroll down and remove the padding from all 4 sides. Under horizontal alignment, I'm going to middle align and turn fill off. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and then I'm going to drag that X to right about there. However, I don't want that little overlap, so let's fix that. I'm going to go to 100% zoom, and we're going to group all of these layers together into one group. So I'm going to go to View, Selection. I'm going to hold Control and select all of these buttons and our image. I'm going to right-click, Group, Group. I'm going to drag it right below my group header because it's associated with the header, and I'm going to rename it Group Period Submenu. Then while I have that group still selected, I'm going to go over to Visualizations and Properties. And I'm going to increase the vertical until there's no more overlap with our Close button. So right there looks really good. Now let's go into that group and reorder and rename all of these layers. Now, when you're working with bookmarks, it's extremely important to stay organized. If you stay organized and name your layers appropriately, name your groups appropriately, and have everything in the correct order, you're going to be able to more easily maintain your bookmarks in the future, no matter how many you have. All right, so as you can see, those layers have been renamed and they're all in the right order. I'm going to hide and show just to make sure I didn't miss any layers. And we can see it looks good. Next thing I want to do is go to my selection pane and hide this group. I'm going to find it, Group Period Submenu, hide it, and then click on it. Now, while I have that group selected, while it's hidden, I'm going to open up my bookmarks and click Add Bookmark. And I'm going to name it Period to represent the period page, and then Period again to represent the submenu for this page, and then Submenu Close. Then I'm going to click on these 3 dots for more options and uncheck Data, go back in, and check Selected Visuals. Now I'm going to unhide that group, select it, click Add, and rename this one Period Submenu Open. Then I'm going to go into more options, uncheck Data, go back in, choose Selected Visuals. Now while I have the bookmark pane open, I'm going to try it out. Close, open, close, open. Now while we have this open, let's assign our other bookmarks to these views. And I already created them when I created the report. So we'll first select Period here at the top. When someone clicks on the Period button, we want this submenu to open. So I'm going to go to Format Button, Action, and we're going to select Period Submenu Open. Then we'll select our X here, turn on Action, and we're going to assign our Period submenu close. I'm going to click on the units sold button for period, turn on action, bookmark, and I'm going to assign it my period units view. Do the gross sales, bookmark, period sales. And if you look closely, I could do this pretty quickly because I named my bookmarks in a way that made sense. So it's easy for me to figure out what needs to go where. Go to net profit, action on, bookmark, go to period profit, click on the cost of goods, action on, bookmark, period cost of goods. And lastly, we have our period table, bookmark, period table. Now, because these other bookmarked page views were created before I created the submenu, I need to reset their bookmarks. So, first thing I'm going to do is hide the group period submenu. Then I'm going to go to period default because my unit sold view is the default. And I'm just going to update. Then period units I'm going to update. I'm going to click on period sales. We'll update that. Click on period profit, update. Cost of goods, update. Table, update. Info open, update. Info close, update. And let's go back to our default view. Now the only thing left to do here is just to test it out. So I'm going to select period. And everything looks good. Let's make sure it closes. It did. Let's go back in. And I'll select gross sales. Navigates to the gross sales view. That's great. Let's go to the net profit. So as you can see, everything is working as it should. So that's good. Now to create the others, all we need to do is duplicate that grouping and then just adjust accordingly. So for example, if I want to go to the dashboard page and add that submenu to the period button here, all I need to do is go back to my period page. We're going to go to selections. We're going to select that group period submenu. We're going to copy it, go back to dashboard. I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to drag it right below my group header. And then I'm going to open up my bookmark pane. And I just need to create my show and hide bookmarks. So we'll do that now. Select the group period submenu while it's hidden. Click add. And this one is going to be named dashboard period submenu close. We're going to go into the more options, uncheck data, go back in, choose selected visuals. Then we're going to go and show, then select it, click add. We're going to rename this one to dashboard period submenu open. Go into the more options, uncheck data, go back in, selected visuals, test it out. Looks good. We're going to close it. We're going to drag these into our dashboard bookmark grouping. And then we're going to update our previous dashboard page view bookmarks. Next thing we need to do is show our group. We're going to click on the period button. Go to format button, action. We're going to assign this one to the dashboard period submenu open. Click twice to select the X button. We're going to assign the dashboard submenu close. And these should already be all set because they're going to take the user to the period page for these individual metrics. So the only thing we need to do now is simply test this out. We'll close it. We'll open. Everything looks good there. I'm going to click on gross sales, the period page, and it took me there. Let's click the back button. And we'll test out one more. Let's click on the net profit view of the period page. And everything looks good. All right, so I hope this tutorial on creating next level custom navigation submenus was helpful to you. Now, if you found these tips helpful, feel free to subscribe, click click the notification button. That way you'll be notified when I come out with additional quick tip videos related to Power BI UX UI design. If you have any requests for certain quick tip videos, feel free to leave them in the comments. And then lastly, if you're looking for a course on advanced Power BI UX UI design, feel free to check out the description where I have a link to my new course, 14 Days to Mastering Power BI UX UI Design.